plus 2ab plus b. He will talk to you as if he is talking to you when he was alive. He will talk to you as if he is talking to you when he is alive. This is the idea. Then Obama said, Alzheimer's patients, they completely forget because the memory stored in hippocampus part of the brain, it's called hippocampus. Hippocampus stores the memory. Without hippocampus, you cannot really function. You will not remember. That is, whenever they are alive, all the memories are stored in a disk. And when they lose the memory, it is implanted back. Everything they become normal. All their memories they get back through hippocampus. Well, more than that, if you are not paralyzed totally, if you cannot walk, your chip will be implanted in the friend of yours who will travel to America, Switzerland, Australia, and then he will record all his seeings. He will record. That chip will be planted in your hippocampus, and you will be as if you are traveling and enjoying the pleasures, sitting at home. You will be traveling. You will be traveling as if you have seen Antarctica, America, California, everything. Whatever he has seen, you will be seeing as if you are a traveler. You will be enjoying all the senses, all the pleasures of seeing. That is one of these ideas. Now, why this is being told is, these are the beautiful, powerful, positive thoughts of that President Obama. That's why he's great. Billions of dollars he has sanctioned, personal risk. Memories can be downloaded, uploaded. Space travel. They will send through a laser beam this chip. It goes. And it will witness all the space activities, all the stars, suns, moons, everything at the speed of light. And you will feel as if you are seeing, because it will be implanted in your computer system, in your brain. Stephen Hawking is a very beautiful, he's a very nice scientist, astrophysicist, all of you know. He's totally paralyzed. He cannot do anything. How is he functioning? The signals from his brain are transferred to the computer, and the computer has got everything. Only his signals means his thoughts. He cannot even speak. He has been given a Google glass, a glass, which again transfers all the digitals back to him as thought to his brain, as thoughts, as sights to his brain. And he answers, which is again transferred to the computer. And the computer has a multimedia voice, it speaks. Who has put in all these things? All those persons who have negative thoughts with fear, no, if I go to the swimming pool, I will drown, I do not know swimming. Who knows all these things? Who knows all these chips and everything? They traveled that way in the hope of finding, without fear, with the full confidence that they will find, they found. What about cardiac surgeons? They brought out in US a patient dead for 6 hours, totally dead. After 3 hours, they resuscitated back her to life because her brain was connected to a machine called ECMO, ECMO, which gives oxygen, which oxygenates the brain and keeps the brain alive. And she has delivered a baby recently. Who did this? Those surgeons who told the plan, who felt very confident, who felt that they will do it. We will resuscitate her if you give all these things, give the money, we will do it. They did it. The Japanese girl has now delivered a baby, dead for 6 hours. And after 3 hours of consecutive, consistent resuscitation, she was brought back to life because her brain was oxygenated, kept alive. Who are these people? In Siberia, they have done open heart surgery without any equipment, minus 60 degrees there, the temperature, and the heart was brought back to life by electric current. Those surgeons had full confidence. They know the risk they are taking. They had full confidence. We will do it, that's it. There is no second thought. There is no thought for any negativity entering their mind. They want to do it, they did it. Now, why these people do? They are also with 2 eyes, 1 nose, born here, made out of the same stardust, like you and me. But why they could do it? One thing is very clear. had no fear. They were 100% sure, not even 99.9, that they will do it. That's it. It's like crossing a river on a small pole. If you see the water and feel that you will drown, that you will fall off, you will fall off. Simply walk, you will walk. They had no fear in them. They had absolutely no fear. They were confident of what they were doing. Here and there they may trip. Here and there some failures may come. But there's a way. They don't call it as a failure. They call it as a way of learning another way. There's nothing called failure. There cannot be a failure. Why there cannot be a failure? I will come. I will come to physics. Why? This is not simply an empty talk. This is a talk which I am giving to you after research. This is not at all an empty talk. Everyone can do. The entire universe has come out of Big Bang. Everybody knows. And Big Bang has been created by an infinitely smallest of the small dot. Anoho, in Kadoprishat it says, Yamadharma Raja, Nachiketa boy asks, Yamadharma Raja explains, Anoho iva anoriyan. Smaller than the atom. Atom da, atatoda atom. Infinite na, infinite, there is no explanation. The entire universe has come out for an infinite spot. John 1 cubic meter. 1 cubic meter. 1 centimeter, 1 meter, 1 meter. The mass he found was 10 to the power of 94 grams. Very simple the number. But then, if you find the mass of this universe, put a number. This 10 to the power of 94 is much greater than the mass of the entire universe by several trillion times. Amazing. That is, when an infinitely smallest of the small spot can create the big universe, how many such infinite small pots, whatever it is, bindu, will be there in 1 cubic meter? Billions, billions. Your brain has got more than 100 billion neurons, scientific, and trillions of synapses. What are synapses? Gaps between neurons. So that there should not, gaps means they are so tiny. These gaps are filled by neurotransmitters. When chemicals transfer themselves, travel through these synapses to the other axon, to the other neuron. Neurons are axons and dendrites in our body. So they travel. So if an infinitely smaller dot, much smaller than a neuron in your brain, can create the universe, what must be the power of your brain? How many universes it can create? Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about it? This I am not saying. John Wheeler wrote, and his student, Tiller, Harvard HOD, head of the Department of Harvard University Physics, he also agrees. He says it is absolutely true. If this dot, infinite dot, can create a universe, how many dots you have in your brains? And Tiller gives an example, a beautiful instance he gives. If from a small bulb, a 40 watts bulb, if the photons come and if you cohere it properly, the energy which these photons give is much, much greater than the surface energy of the sun. Is much, much greater the energy you can liberate from a 40-watt bulb coming from a room, the photons. What happens is, they don't cohere properly. They go and clash with each other and destroy each other. Therefore, there is no output. There is no clarity. There is no energy because all the energy is destroyed. Likewise, your brain is destroyed by your own negative emotions. The wonderful brain you have, the wonderful capacity you have, is destroyed by your own negative emotions. Without your knowledge, your negative emotions destroy the beautiful positive emotions of your brain. The clarity is lost. Einstein gives a beautiful another example. A lovely example which I always like to quote. 1 kilo of coal, if burnt properly, 1 kilo of coal, if burnt properly, can light up America for 2 months. 1 kilo. Why? We do not know how to light it without smoke. How to light it, how to release the energy locked in that 1 kilo of coal. We do not know, he says. Einstein says, in his book 1950, Einstein says, I have the book given to me by my father-in-law. A lovely book on physics. That is what superconductivity is about. Energy has to travel, molecules have to travel. When molecules travel, without resistance, if they travel, small pin can power a very big space carrier for several billions of miles. Because of resistance, they are not able to do that. And how the resistance comes? Your resistance comes because of your own negative emotions. You fill your mind with negative thoughts. Your brain is such a wonderful organization, a very beautiful structure. A chemical energy in an atom cannot release much energy than the nucleons. Nucleons are inside the atom. You have a nucleus of the atom. You have protons and you have neutrons. They are called nucleons. That's why nuclear energy, when it manipulates the nucleons, it is more powerful than the chemical energy, which just manipulates the energy already available in the atom. The nuclear energy manipulates the nucleons in an atom. Nucleons are, if you imagine an egg. In the egg you have the yolk, that is a nucleon. And outside the egg you have what is known as electrons going. That's all. Inside the nucleon you have protons and neutrons. Protons have positive energy, neutrons neutral energy, electrons have negative energy. But when you know to manipulate the nucleons, the nuclear energy becomes more powerful than the chemical energy, which knows only to manipulate the energy already available in the atom. That means you are not manipulating the abundant energy available within your brains. We are not. Just like the photons which come out from the bulb, 40 watts bulb. We do not know. And that is why we always say, we are like this, we are like this. Practically, I want to give some tips to householders, youngsters, parents. If you take any family in India or any family in the world, probably in India I would say, nowadays, not in Vedic times, nowadays, if you don't study, you will fail. If you don't go to office in time, you will be dismissed. If you do not know swimming, don't go to the water, you will get drowned. If you go there carelessly, you will get into an accident. All these are negative words. You will fail, you will drown, you will be dismissed from service, you will fall sick if you take ice creams. The ways are, there are ways, there are methods. You should never tell a student that you will fail if you don't write an exam, if you don't study well. You should tell him, if you study well, you will be like Einstein. If you study well, you will be like Thomas Alva Edison. If you study well, you will become like Dr. Radhakrishnan, President of India. There is a way. If you cross the road carefully, you will arrive safely. If you go to office in time, you will be the managing director. You will be getting promotion. If you carefully swim, you will cross the water. What happens is, these words spew negative energies, negative emotions. When an atom moves, when an electron moves, creating electricity, it also creates a magnetic field. A magnetic field is created. Similarly, when you use negative emotions, when you have negative words, when you spew out all those angry words, what you are essentially doing is, you are creating a magnetic field of negativity. Nothing what your power, nothing whatever I have told you so far, the power of your brain can be achieved. It is impossible for anyone to achieve that immeasurable asangeyo prameyatma. It is impossible to achieve. It is impossible. It is impossible to have concentration also. What Chandogya Upanishad says beautifully, that Rishi explains. It's not Rishi actually. Varuna Bhagavan to Bhrigu Munivar. Bhrigu Munivar is one of the finest rishis India has ever had. Varshati ha asmai, Varshati ha asmai, Varshayati. Varshati ha asmai, Varshayati, haya, Vriddhan, Vrishtau, Pancha Vidagum, Sama Upasate. If you have that concentrating power in your mind, if you concentrate, if you want rain, rain will come. If you want rainfall to happen, Varshayati, rainfall will happen. He says. Then beautifully they say, Mano Brahme Divyajana Manasadhyaiva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayante Manase Najathani Jivanti Manam Prayansa Visham Vishanti. Everything is Manam. Manam Brahmaha. Manam Brahme Ti Vyajana. Understand? Manam is the Brahma. Manasa Imani Bhutani Jayanti. They all came from Mana only. Manasena Jatani. They go by Mana only. And to Manas only they all enter. Abhi Pra Vishamti. They enter. That means mind understand. Bhrigu is such a wonderful structure, the brain. You can achieve anything by your thoughts. You can achieve anything by your thoughts. John Hagelin is one of the finest psychologists and a doctor from UK. To find out the importance of mind, he called about a batch of students, a batch of participants. And then he trained them. He did a study. He told them for half an hour how weak you are, how you should eat well. You are so weak after the day's office work or whatever it is. You are traveling the whole day, morning and evening. Morning 1 hour, evening half an hour to your house, from work to house. And you are eating other food, so you have become tired. And then he asked them to lift. They could hardly lift 30 pounds. Then after a week, he told them, see, all of us have immense strength. We are all strong. Our body can take more work than what you and I think. We are living in UK, a very wonderful